Right now, I'm going to teach you a meditation for positive energy, full aliveness exercise. That's only 2 minutes, so you can finally stop stress and anxiety by taking positive and energetic control of your life. This meditation for positive energy technique is the 4th of 7 in this week's series. It's super simple and you will know how well it works for you straight away. After the 2-minute meditation for positive energy, I'll also outline why and how to best respond to the increase in mental health issues in recent times, and outline some concerning behaviors seen in younger generations that needs correcting, and guide you all of this in integrating everything you learned today in a special finale exercise. I'm Speed Psychologist and best-selling author Aleks George, and we're now in session. First, give yourself a current mood rating, 1 being very low to 10 being very high mood, and a second 1 being very low to 10 being very high stress/anxiety rating. Just go with whatever mood number or stress anxiety number that first comes to mind. Now, I need you to promise me that I will have your full attention and best effort for just 2 minutes, okay? If you are sure that you can do that right now, then get ready. Also, please note, make sure you are in a safe place, and if you feel unusually uncomfortable during any exercise, stop immediately and go have a drink of water. So, are you ready? Really? To feel better? Just 2 minutes from now. You sure? Great. Let's begin. Sit up tall, shoulders back, head up, and close or shield your eyes if safe to do so. Now follow my simple instructions. Breathe deep, be strong, focus all of your attention on relaxing into the rhythm and flow of these meditative rhymes that grow your aliveness. You will move with flair, a color blurring flash. You don't walk but dash, don't speak but sing, don't stumble but spring with lively conscious intent, meant to invent instances moving us beyond our differences. It is your energetically evocative, positive prerogative to feel the drive to be fully alive, to reach out and touch. Thriving by reviving those lost and confused, bruised and abused, stimulating joy and inspiration. Sensational sounding sentences, mesmerizingly majestic movements, and gloriously gleeful gazes amaze and astound all those around you. Now allow an intense new insight, a life change for immediate use will come in 3, 2, 1. There it is. Bring flash as you dash, song to your speech, spring to each step, and feel the drive to be fully alive. That's right. That's right. That's it. We're done. Simple, right? Easy, hey? Feeling better? I'm sure. Really, check in now and review if your mood and stress anxiety scores have improved. If you gave me your full attention and best effort, then I bet they have. How much did they improve? 10%? 20? 30? 50? Or more? And in just 2 minutes? If your scores didn't improve, that's okay. You may just need a few more repetitions, or may find it easier to benefit from a different 2-minute brain exercise. I will release 7 related meditations over the week, and they're always just a couple of minutes. Each exercise builds on the last, and they become easier to do and more effective as you get used to them. Before we move on, I want you to really consider how your life could be better by consistently using these kinds of exercises. What would it be like to be in control and unaffected rather than being controlled by the news and social media, work bullies, and negative people? What would it feel like to have greater peace of mind and focus so you can perform at your best and feel good about who you are and what you do? In a moment, I'm going to answer 1 or 2 modern psychology questions from the community. To connect with me and the community, just go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. You can, of course, like, rate, subscribe, and follow me on this channel, but to enjoy free giveaways like my best-selling books and programs, which are only available to subscribers through the website, and to personally ask me and get an answer to your own important psychology question, it must be through my free-to-join email list. Questions like, do you think everyone should have some form of therapy? And what would the world look like if this was the case? I'm going to answer that in our next session. And then all the way back in Meditation for Anxiety series, episode 4, questions like, how can I evaluate my work-life balance? That was answered then, as well as neurochemically, is happiness that we experience from materialism the same as happiness we experience from socializing and sharing experiences with others? The only way you will be able to ask me your question is by reply emailing me once you're on the list. The sooner you join, the more bonus goodies you'll get, like early access benefits to the 2-Minute Brain app currently in development that takes exercises like the one you just experienced and connects them sequentially with others into fantastic brain-flowing peak performance experiences. It will allow you to become your own mental health and peak performance DJ. Sound good? Really good? Almost too good? Then go sign up now and get all the latest updates from the 2minutebrain.com email list. Okay, riddle me this, Bat Psych. Why do you think there is an increase in mental health issues in both children and adults nowadays? Well, is it? First, we need to critically review the data. So is it higher or just reported more? After all, some things must have improved. There have been reductions in domestic violence, abuse, and greater racial and sex difference acceptance. However, the world has definitely become more complex and more competitive, and there is less stability of the family unit and proximity of social contacts. Up until the last 2 to 3 decades, most people didn't really leave their own homes, their own hometowns, should I say. This in some ways could make life more boring, but there is also a huge benefit to the predictability to being able to keep close proximity to key friends and family throughout your life. If you're a child and your parents separate but still live in the same area, that's still much easier and preferred to if one or both don't live near other family. Over the last couple of decades, they've mentioned this concept of an epidemic of loneliness. This really is a new issue in human history and was much rarer a few decades ago. There are 2 major issues causing mental health increases these days: complexity and inequality. The gap between rich and poor is increasing, and the middle class in particular is being squeezed, with more struggling to live financially decent lives. That affects adults and children as extra work is pursued at the cost of quality time, quality family time, and the stress of wondering if you have enough money will negatively affect relationships. The other issue is complexity. Life is harder to navigate now, and more is expected of children and adults. Some children have so many extracurricular activities and pressure to perform that they seem to have schedules busier than many middle managers that I know. I mean, it's ridiculous when you think about it. But the parents have been sold into this idea that the kids have to go to the best schools and be the best at everything. And of course they can't. And this pressure leads to major anxiety and self-esteem issues. Now, adults are living in a very competitive and complex landscape where room for promotion is becoming scarcer and costs of living continue to rise. So the keeping up with the Joneses mentality is also highly promoted across all media, and it's at an all-time high in terms of the way it is shown in many social groups. So, what's the answer? I think the simplest answer in most cases is to strive for a more minimalist
and self-sufficient lifestyle. That means less time online and more time with quality contacts, doing simple, enjoyable, and low-cost things such as walks in nature, board games, homemade meals, and so on. It also helps to recognize how much money you actually need to live a good life without becoming a slave to work. It may mean changing jobs, earning less, but gaining more free time for creative, spiritual, and social pursuits. As for the kids, quality time and free time is paramount. Childhood is about exploring and figuring stuff out, not being as vocationally productive as possible. It's not easy to do what's right and ignore the Joneses, but if you're courageous enough, it will set you free.
Want to ask me your own question? Just go over to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. At the moment, I'm personally answering people's questions pretty quickly, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on this channel. I'm happy to answer questions on mental health, such as stress, anxiety, mood, painful events, happiness, work-life performance, relationships, intimate, family, friends, kids, and of course the state of the world and why we do what we do. Before we continue, I want to explain what 2-Minute Brain is all about, because it's both as simple and not as simple as it seems. The first and most obvious goal is to offer the fastest and most practical methods to reduce mental health struggles and reach peak performance, so you can meet the demands of this often overwhelming and ultra-competitive modern world. The sad truth is, you do have to learn how to consistently be at your best, or you will be left behind. That's what these speed brain rewiring strategies are all about. These are the essential skills, but that's only the part of the iceberg that's above the surface. The second, much deeper goal is about members of this community reaching their highest forms of self-expression. Here, we are no longer talking about peak performance, but peak freedom. Good living is not just about productively functioning well. It's about wrestling with complex moral issues, paradoxical laws of nature, human contradiction, and seeking profound and immeasurable truths. This is where we dive deeply into the murky depths of existence and seek to free our self-expression. And in true 2-Minute Brain style, I'll also explore these topics just a couple minutes at a time via an impassioned monologue. So stick around if you want to spread your arms wide, crank up Celine Dion to volume 11, and safely explore rather than crash into the iceberg that is human consciousness and potential. We're nearing the end of today's session. Soon, I will summarize it all and get you focused on using what you have found most helpful in one final, fun, and fast meditative exercise. But before the finale, it's time for today's 2-minute monologue, which usually consists of a metaphorical poetic performance where I often intentionally don't give clear advice or answers. That will hopefully stimulate you to also explore and find your own deeper truths within and greater self-expressive courage.
It's our 6th Popular Culture Wednesday. Today's brief culture discussion critiques some of the youth of today after I stumbled on a Cardi B concert, as strange as that sounds. And so I tell the youth of today how to actually dance with Cardi B. Let's see how this goes. So, how to dance with Cardi B. So recently I was kind of unwell, I was kind of procrastinating, and so I was flicking through the BBC app trying to find something entertaining. And I stumbled across a recent hip-hop and R&B festival called Wireless. Now, since I don't really follow pop culture trends very much, I thought it might be a good idea to get a quick snapshot feel of what modern pop music is like and how the youth of today tend to behave at such events. So on the positive side, the core of it hasn't changed and probably never will. The majority of people are there singing, connecting with their mates, and the act on stage, and just having a good time. And so that's kind of been the same since always, and that's a good thing. This really is how it should be. And of course, especially after all the social restrictions faced in recent years, which would have been especially tough on the youth, who really do benefit from just hanging out with their mates. However, there was something I saw involving performer Cardi B. And so Cardi B sings a song and wiggles her butt in every possible way imaginable the entire time. Now, this isn't about the butt jiggling per se. It's a show, whatever fires up the crowd. Hey, it's all part of it. Whatever, jiggle away. What do I care? Personally, I found it kind of sexy for like 20 seconds and then kind of boring. I mean, a whole song? But anyway, so I mean, no trick, gimmick, stunt, or gag should ever be dragged out longer than necessary. But hey, whatever. You want to jiggle? Jiggle away. So anyway, here's the actual scary bit. So after the song, she gets 5 people from the crowd to do their own butt dance. So, once again, a bit of a crowd participation gimmick, but hey, why not if it fosters playful connection? So they start their dance, and as they're doing it, each of them just within seconds grab their phone and start filming themselves while they're doing it. Now, none of them actually interact with the crowd, nor Cardi B. In fact, at one point, Cardi B actually tries to dance with a couple of them and is rejected. She actually steps back and just lets them do their own thing. I've never seen something with the potential for such connection to be so disconnecting. I mean, here you have a once-in-a-lifetime priceless opportunity to actually dance with your favorite artist and get the cheering support of thousands of people while you do it. And instead, you make your own little bubble and dance to a tiny screen for an indeterminable audience that isn't even there. And I guess it's the hope of it going viral, and somehow that's more important than making the most of an invaluable one-time only moment. Now, I had no idea the audience members could demonstrate even more vanity than the artist during the artist's concert. And the fact that it's being filmed anyway, you can just get it later, seems to be forgotten, as in the moment vanity prevails over sanity. So, the question is, what would you do? Now, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but if my favorite artist, or any artist, including Cardi B, who I kind of know nothing about, but whatever, man. I mean, if she called me up on stage to dance, I'm going to dance with her and the crowd, and I'm not going to dance to a little box in my hand. I guess it seems that this concert really was wireless for some people. They really took it literally, because they've become completely untethered from the people around them, self-abandoning and cast adrift to gyrate and jiggle and spin alone in cyberspace, despite having a fellow dancer and even the artists themselves right beside them. So, when the beautiful moment comes, when they occur in life, it might be wise to ask yourself, who do I actually want to dance with? I really hope the answer isn't myself and my imaginary friends who aren't even here right now.
If you're having fun, make sure you like and subscribe and follow this channel, and also go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. Now, let's bring all of it meaningfully together in an integrative exercise that will conclude today's session. Sit up tall, shoulders back, head up, and close or shield your eyes if safe to do so. Now listen and follow along closely. Bring flash as you dash, song to your speech, spring to each step, and feel the drive to be fully alive. Now consider what you learned today about how to strengthen your mental health despite the challenges of modern life. Things like seeking to be more minimalist and self-sufficient in daily life, accessing simpler, pleasurable activities and connections to others and nature, and understanding why freedom is more important than income once you have what you need to live well. or something else? Also now consider what you learned today about what dancing and celebration is actually about. Think about how you would interact and dance with your favorite musical artist and the supporting crowd, and how you want to respond to the incredible one-time only opportunities in life. Or maybe now reflect on something else that occurred to you throughout our time together. Of all these things, what most struck a chord and feels right? Envision how you will use this now and in the future. And notice how you will have changed looking back on this moment and the next, all the way until you are where you wish to be. Allow all the lessons now to come together, to ripple through you, and now changed back out into the world. That's right. That's right. To connect with me and the community, just go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. You can of course like, rate, subscribe, and follow me on this channel, but to enjoy free giveaways like my best-selling books and programs, which are only available to subscribers through the website, and to personally ask me and get an answer to your own important psychology question, it must be through my free-to-join email list.
Questions like, do you think everyone should have some form of therapy? And what would the world look like if this was the case? I'm going to answer that in our next session. And then all the way back in Meditation for Anxiety series, episode 4, questions like, how can I evaluate my work-life balance? That was answered then, as well as neurochemically, is happiness that we experience from materialism the same as happiness we experience from socializing and sharing experiences with others?
The only way you will be able to ask me your question is by reply emailing me once you're on the list. The sooner you join, the more bonus goodies you'll get, like early access benefits to the 2-Minute Brain app currently in development that takes exercises like the one you just experienced and connects them sequentially with others into fantastic brain-flowing peak performance experiences. It will allow you to become your own mental health and peak performance DJ. Sound good? Really good? Almost too good? Then go sign up now and get all the latest updates from the 2minutebrain.com email list.
And I'll see you, all of you, whether you believe it yet or not, in our next session.